Welcome to Frog Talk, an Auction Frogs podcast series all about events and fundraising in a post-2020 world. For more information on Auction Frogs and the services we offer, visit auctionfrogs.org today.
Hey, this is Corey, and as we evolve through the fundraising and the changes in our world, in virtual events, in video vignettes, in donation pages, peer-to-peer programs, there's all these different ways that we can be able to help with your fundraising. But there's still the tried and true things that people love to do, and they are still successful. And even with the changes, we've been able to evolve and adapt. One of the big ones is golf tournaments.
And I have two of Auction Frog's fundraising specialists with me today to talk about golf tournaments, Melanie Nelson and Alisha Phillips. Alisha,
this has been something that has been so important and so much fun for so many different organizations, and an integral part of what they do with their fundraising. They want to be able to continue. Well, they can, and they have been. It's just evolving and changing, just like the rest of our world.
Golf tournaments are a classic way of fundraising. People love golf tournaments, but a lot of nonprofits are afraid to delve into a golf tournament because the expense rates are generally higher than most other events. They're not the cheapest event to put on, and they don't generally raise large amounts of dollars like a gala might. But the reality is with a really simple strategy, a golf tournament can raise $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 quite simply with a tiny portion of the amount of work that it takes to put on a gala. The key to golf tournaments is really accessing the business segment of your nonprofit war market, getting them involved in whole sponsorships as golfers and as general sponsorships is really the biggest secret to the sauce of a golf tournament. It's knowing that who you're going to be working with, who's coming to your golf tournament, and then utilizing that information to lock in your whole sponsors. Everything else is about fun and engagement and games and raffles and silent auction items and those types of things. But the real magic of a golf tournament comes down to a networking opportunity for businesses paying for teams and businesses paying for whole sponsors to be in front of those other businesses who are golfing. So I can't say the word business enough in this sentence because that really is what a golf tournament is. If you're looking to maximize your opportunities in your warm market, a golf tournament is going to be a really phenomenal opportunity for you.
And what are some of the changes that you've seen here through the pandemic and all of that in how to be able to still achieve the golf tournament, but do it safely?
The interesting thing about golf tournaments in the pandemic was that it shifted the traditional fundraising model of a golf tournament. So in a regular golf tournament, most of the time, you're going to do a shotgun start, which means everybody leaves at the exact same time and they're assigned to different holes. And you're going to do a best ball scramble, which means that the best ball that's hit every time is the one you play. It keeps the pace of play going. It keeps the golf tournament right around that 4-hour mark, which is where you want to be.
Right.
Now, golf tournaments in the pandemic were shifted because you could no longer gather that many people in one space, outside or inside. And a lot of them didn't have any meals included because there was no inside space, no buffets or anything like that. So that shifted in the meal with the box lunch versus the inside meal, which also made a shift for a lot of the tournaments I saw this year in their swag. So they didn't change the prices, which was really smart because it's hard to go back up after you drop a price. Mm-hmm. But what they did do is they upped their swag. They upped their opportunities to make their golfers happy by taking meal money and putting it into swag. So that was one shift that we saw that was good for the golfers. The other thing that was vastly different is now instead of a shotgun type tournament, they still did the best ball scramble because it is quicker and it's good pace of play. But now they did a staggered start. This was a really neat concept. And at first, we were all a little bit nervous about it because that's not how nonprofit golf tournaments traditionally go. But seeing it in action was fantastic. Because we started to put things in a general area, everybody had to go through the same area to get their box lunches. And there was always a little bit of a delay because of the way the starts were. So they would get a little bit hung up in this area for about 5 to 10 minutes. That was a great opportunity to safely engage with those 4 or 8 golfers in that period of time in that space. We sold more raffle tickets. We had better item donations. We had people playing the games because everything was in this general area. And they were really basically forced to be in this space for 5 to 10 minutes. And it gave us an opportunity to just chat with them, show them some love, thank them, and upsell them. So a golf tournament that traditionally was making about $15,000, $16,000, some of these tournaments were making upwards of $35,000 to $40,000 this summer, just with those changes alone.
And one of the things that I've loved in being able to pivot and change with this is on our side, on the technology part, is be able to have 100% touchless entry when you check in and all of that. You don't have to sign anything. You don't have to do anything. Everything is done off the app on your phone, clean, simple.
Correct. And that's been really, really nice. And again, with that staggered start, there was no holdup at registration. It was very smooth, really simple for everything to get processed. I would now recommend golf tournaments to almost any nonprofit that could put together at least 16 to 18 teams. Once you hit that mark, you can make some money at a golf tournament.
Thank you so much, Alisha. See, there is ways around this to be able to learn. Just like we've done with so many things during this time, we've adapted, we've learned, we've evolved, and we continue to. Yes, we learned a lot last summer, but as we get into time for golf tournaments coming up and all of that, there's lots of other little tips and tricks to think about as you're planning today's golf tournament.
There's a couple things that we learned over the last summer that you really want to be aware of when it comes to this new environment of putting on a golf tournament. Alisha really addressed some really great things to watch out for. This is from a system standpoint, though, I think. Your staggered check-in is really going to help you keep your crowds smaller. But from a system standpoint, how are you going to check those people in? You really want to think through what their user experience is going to be like. And we have two solutions that allow us to do that. You can use the online auction platform to do that, but I actually think it's better to use mobile bidding. And the reason why is because a lot of golf tournament spaces don't have great Wi-Fi. Right. And so mobile bidding runs primarily on mobile data. And because of that, you're able to interact with people a little easier. All you have to do is be able to send them a text message from the system, and they are on their cart, logging in and taking care of everything else. The same is true with the online auction platform, but they do have to be able to access more data to open the site. So that's one of the changes in the bandwidth there. A lot of golf courses don't provide anything but guest Wi-Fi. And so the golfers who are typically there golfing automatically hop on the Wi-Fi and suck your bandwidth out of check-in, which we've seen happen many, many times. And especially at some of those more rural golf courses here in the Valley, that's an issue. So if you make arrangements in advance with the pro shop or with the person who's in charge of your particular event at the venue, you can get their network Wi-Fi password for just your check-in volunteers to use. That will ensure that they have enough bandwidth to help your check-in and your auction run as smooth as possible, because that's really all you have to worry about when you're using Auction Frogs at a golf tournament is check-in. You just have to get people through check-in, and the rest of it runs themselves, because all of the data entry and everything that can happen after that is done. And you can even use mobile bidding for those games that are happening out at the hole. And a lot of times when you have, maybe it's pick a pocket, or it's one of these kind of fun little raffle games where you pay $10 and you get to pull a gift card, or you get to kick a soccer ball or whatever. Yes. With mobile bidding, they can actually make that purchase on their phone and it goes directly into the system instead of having to record it on a bid sheet and then have a volunteer take a picture and send it to the person running the auction and that kind of stuff. It just simplifies a lot of things. So there's a couple different solutions that Auction Frogs can help you with to make sure that those kinds of things run as smooth as possible.
So this is something that you don't have to be scared. In fact, there's right now, as we head into the golf tournament season, it is such a better experience than it's ever been before. And so don't be afraid to do golf tournaments. In fact, if you've never done one in the past, this is a great time to try one. and it's more profitable than ever. So to find out ways that we can be able to help you in your golf tournament experience and in your fundraising, just contact us. One of our fundraising specialists will be happy to get you through the entire experience.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Frog Talk, an Auction Frogs podcast series all about events and fundraising in a post-2020 world. For more information on Auction Frogs and the services we offer, visit auctionfrogs.org today.